Hello everyone, and thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. This is Sabiuddin Ahmed Siddiqui. Now we are continuing with the previous video, that was Java tokens. We understood about the keywords and continuing with the identifiers as the part 14 of this whole video tutorials. Now identifiers are very important in writing programs and to declare the variables and to store the values and data in it, keeping in view that if you want to store string variables, alphabetic, numeric and something like that, float even, so you need to know about the identifiers for each program while writing programs in Java or in any other languages. So continuing with the identifiers rules, now you can see that identifiers are known as the programmer designed tokens or meaningful words. Basically, it identifies the names of the classes, methods, variables, objects, labels, packages and interfaces in a program. So we have basically some Java identifiers rules as follows. If you follow these rules, there won't be any problem in writing Java programs or programs in any languages. They can have alphabets, digits and the underscore and $sign characters. Secondly, they must not begin with the digit. Thirdly, uppercase and lowercase letters are distinct. That means if you have set uppercase, it should have with the uppercase letters, or you will understand that why and when to use uppercase letter and when to use lowercase. Normally the practice is on lowercase letters. So the fourth one is they can be of any length. That means you can just assign any length. Let's suppose the length of the variable may differ, or you can see that, for example, taking the name in a string variable can contain 30 characters, 40 characters, or it could be a type of length which you define, and you can just put a length check as well. So these are the identifiers and rules. So keeping in view that we are continuing with these identifiers, now you can see that Java identifiers and naming conventions. Basically, identifier must be meaningful. That means, for example, if you are storing name, so if it is a type of text, so txt name can be a good example of storing name in a variable which is a type of text. Then it should be short enough to type quickly and easily. It should not be long enough to be descriptive and cannot be read easily. That means, for example, normally students and programmers practice in this way, that they start declaring a variable with the long length even if they don't have any vision to write the correct name. Now you can see, I mean to say that for example, you have started writing variable names or declaring variable names at random. That means you even don't know that the length of the variable should vary, or if it is easy to remember. So that is why it is written that it should be short enough to type quickly and easily. Now next is that they cannot be read easily. That means, for example, you forgot, so how would you remember that the variable name was this or that and so on so. Now Java developers use the following naming conventions. You should keep them in your mind. Basically, lower letters are used to name all public methods and instance variables. Instance variables means the value which you instantiate through the object help. Now example you can take, for example, average is a word, is a variable that is meaningful to you, that you are storing the average, and the type of average should be float, integer or double. Or let's suppose in which you can store, if you want to store the decimal points, you need to know about that. Yes, float and double is the best type of storing decimal points. On the other hand, integer and long, as far as your decimal point is concerned, do not support in that. So always remember that whenever you are storing the values or just storing the decimal points, you need to initialize or you need to use float and double type variables. Then you can move on to sum. So sum is already the meaningful. That means you are storing something, or it could be total, it could be accumulated, it could be sum of all, or it could have different meanings to you. That means total and something which is common to you. That identifies the type, integer, float, double, long, etc. Any type of data which can add something as a numeric value. So this is you should keep in your mind while writing and declaring variables, and while composing a program, and to transform a program into any high level language such as Java. We are continuing with the Java, and we will be practicing one after another. So continuing with the next. Now if more than one words are used in an identifier name, the second and subsequent words are marked with the leading uppercase letters. So why I have included this thing? Normally, let's suppose we are being the programmer, we are being the developer, we just keep on continuing with the running case, running letters. So if you keep practicing on these exercises, I am hopeful that you will be a good programmer and there is no problem to understand the variables and internal types and something like that. You can catch them easily. So that is why it is mandatory, or you can say you have to focus strictly that you have to declare the type or declare the variable name meaningful. That let's suppose day temperature, yes, it is started with small letters and temperatures T is capital, which is highlighting the temperature, that today's temperature or the day's temperature. Now next is that first day of month, yes, it is okay. That means first is small, as you see that the second and subsequent words. Now you can see the identifier name, the second and subsequent words are marked with the leading uppercase letters. That means if the type is changing or the event is changing, you have just kept the name's first letter into capital letter. Then you have total marks, then your total percentage, then your total average and something like that. So this is the type of subsequent words. On the other hand, you can see that all of the private and local variables use only lowercase letters to combine with underscores. So you can see that example length, batch, strength. So you can see you have terminated the word with underscore. If you do not want to put underscore, so it's okay that you can keep it running with the upper letter case. So this can be helpful in declaring variables. Java, all keywords are in lowercase. Now continuing with this, that you can see that all classes and interfaces start with the leading uppercase letter. Yes, it is true, as we have already know this thing in the very first class and lecture and the program while writing the program in GUI mode, that and each subsequent word with the leading uppercase letter. So you can see the example: student, hello Java, vehicle, motorcycle. Yes, you can just name the convention in your mind that okay, so I want to keep this running, or I do not want to use the space, or always remember that spaces are not allowed. Underscore represents the space if you want to put in between the words. So keep in mind that you are going to use the simple and straight variable. Then the variables that represent constant values, yes, coming to the capital letters, use all uppercases letters and underscores between words. So you can see that if you can take the example total, so total is uppercase, F max, then principal amount or average, you can see the values which you want to make constant, such as minimum values, maximum values, high value, low value, and so on. Temperature value, right? So you can fix it. Or on the other hand, you can understand that if you want to fix some values, like let's suppose if the temperature is 20 degrees centigrade, so you are just assigning the TMP capital or TEMP capital equals to, let's suppose, the total number of degrees you are assigning, you want to fix it, or the pi value, pi value. So all these are the constants. So keeping in view that when to capitalize, or basically it's up to you. If you are comfortable with running cases, so it's up to you, but being the programmer, you must be able to handle the identifiers clearly. Now this is the table which tells you about the valid and invalid declaration of the words or identifiers in a program. Now you can see that I'm highlighting hello world. You can see there is no space in between. Now invalid, hello space world. So you can see that it uses a space. Hello world, hello with space world. So that means hello world. Without space it's okay, with space it is invalid. Now hi underscore Java. So hi space Java and sign of exclamation is not allowed. Use or no any such special cases are not allowed. So use a space and punctuation mark. Then value 3, it's okay. 3 value begins with a number is not possible, it's not allowed, it becomes invalid and null. Then tall, T-A-L-L, short. This is a Java keyword, tall, T-A-L-L, tall, right? Short is a keyword, so make sure that short is a type of integer which is short value, right? So make sure that, let's suppose T short, it's okay, it can be okay, or short one can be okay, or SHORTS, shorts, or S underscore hot, short. So this becomes the possibility, but tall is not the keyword of Java, whereas short is the keyword of Java. That is why short becomes invalid. Now $age or buffer age does not begin with any other symbol except underscore and dollar. So you can see it is crystal clear that $age is the valid identifier. So now you can see the standard Java naming convention practice is to compose multiple word identifiers in lowercase. Only the first letter or the beginning letter of words in the middle of the name. Example, age, average. Yes, age can have lots of averages. Let's suppose you have 100 people. If you want to find the average of those people, let's suppose one contains 20 years, one has 30 years, one has 45 years, 50 years, 70 years. Out of 100 people, when you will calculate the average, so you can just make it meaningful, age, average. So this is basically about the identifier and naming convention. You have seen this, and I am hopeful that you will remember all these we have discussed now. So we will continue with the new lesson in the next video. So I hope you will like it. Thanks for watching.